Hey powerful creators, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Janita Harris, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I do a new upload. In this week's video, we're going to talk about how each of us can further develop our leadership abilities during crisis. I have been going around Chicago, interviewing and speaking to everyday people, protesters, business owners, healthcare professionals, and literally everyday people about both COVID-19 as well as the rising protests. I've been having a lot of conversations about what people think the solution should be, what they think the problem is, and I've had a lot of conversations centering around leadership. And so for this particular video, I just want to share some of the things that I think, 3 tips that really have come out from these interviews that I think could help each of us in our daily lives, especially as we continue to endure this pandemic of the coronavirus and continue to see the rising social movements happening around Black Lives Matter, because well, Black lives, they do matter. But that's going to be, we can do a whole new video on that if we want. If you guys would like that, let me know in the comments below. But I do want to share 3 tips that I've been learning and really hearing that I think can help all of us. The first tip really is emotional regulation. And emotional regulation is really about our ability to identify our emotions and then be able to influence them, right? So if you don't understand that you're angry right now, then you probably don't have the ability to actually control that anger and create the type of change that you want. And that could be the same with sadness. Sometimes sadness may manifest as anger when really at the root of it, it's being sad. So emotional regulation is really about you being able to understand and recognize your own emotions, as well as being able to understand and recognize the emotions of other people. So if, let's say, you are leading a small group of individuals, or maybe just your family, you should be able to properly identify your emotions and identify the emotions of the people around you so that you know how to meet them where they're at and help them to develop, right? And that allows you to kind of control your energy. The second tip that I've been learning from my different interviews is really about critical thinking. And by this, what I mean is, what are your actions? And have you critically thought about the repercussions of your actions? So from 5 to 10, 15 years from now, if you chose a particular action, let's take, for instance, everyone wants to talk about defunding the police officers, right? So if everyone is saying we're going to abolish the police, from 5 to 10 to 15 years, what does that look like? Will you look back and say, yes, that was the best thing that I ever did? Or are you going to look back and say no, right? And so critical thinking is really essential into leadership, because whatever demand that you're asking or whatever you're looking to do, you want to think about the long-term effect of that particular action, right? And it might not even be about defunding the police. I mean, I talked to business owners who have gotten AK-47s out to protect the strip of businesses on there. And really what they're thinking about is, in their opinion, long-term as well as short-term, it's been stopping people from looting their businesses. Whether or not people agree with it or not, they've thought about what those actions were going to do and whether or not it was going to produce a desirable result, which is they don't want their business to be looted. So now they've taken measures into their own hands, and this is how they've stopped it from happening. So that's something just to think about, right? So you might not even be thinking about it in terms of defunding the police or stopping people from looting your business. It could be something as simple as, if you wanted to lose weight, for instance, and you're thinking about, man, I'm going to eat all these donuts. Eating those donuts, are they going to help you in 15 years from now, or are they going to take you back? So really critically thinking about what actions you're taking and how that's going to impact you in the long term is really going to help your leadership ability, especially right now during a crisis. Because a lot of the times right now, many people are just emotionally responding. So they're not aware of what they're actually feeling, and they're really reactive. So again, going back to the first thing that we talked about, when you are emotionally aware and you can emotionally regulate, you're less likely to be reactive to another person and more likely to be proactive with how you want to address and solve the issue, right? And then when you're able to be proactive about how you want to address and solve the issue, you're also bringing in that critical thinking. And the third thing that I want to talk about is new opportunities. So in a crisis, there are always new opportunities to create. So people are, I was at I went to a protest where the University of Chicago students took over the University of Chicago Police Department. And in this, they're literally reimagining what community looks like. So for them, right, and I'm not saying you have to do this, but for them, they see this as a new opportunity to see what a campus would look like that really centered itself around community without the involvement of the police. And they really are spending the time to tease out the specifics of what that is going to look like. And for other people, it could be a new business opportunity right now, right? A lot of people want to have conversations now about race and critical race theory, how to work with communities that historically been marginalized, how to explore white identities. So perhaps in this new and during this chaotic times where people are concerned about that, you might create a business that is consulting, and somehow you are creatively solving these particular issues within businesses. Or another great example is there are many fashion designers who, due to COVID-19, they've been making additional money by making face masks. So they're making customized face masks. So if you can also think about, well, what kind of opportunities can I create right now? That is also an example of leadership. So in this video, I just wanted to briefly talk about 3 things that I've been learning from doing my different interviews that might help you individually about how you can become a better leader. And that's 1, being able to emotionally regulate, 2, critically thinking about the long-term effects of your actions, and 3, looking for creative solutions that you're going to be happy with. Because in chaos, there's always an opportunity for something new. And you want to be the person that is capitalizing on that new opportunity. So use your brain power and figure it out. All right, powerful creators, I just wanted to make this short little video to share about what I've been learning. Also, if you haven't already, you should check out my interview that I did with a business owner and why they've chosen to use guns to protect their block. And also, I will be posting, I think, some of my interviews from protesters and things like that. So let me know what you think about my 3 tips of how we each can further develop our leadership abilities within us. And let me know what else you want to hear. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will be back. Also, real quick, I'm going to also give you an update on my hair video, my shea powder, because, we're up to 1 month again. So I'll be doing a month 2 check-in. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.